Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my August wrap up. So let's get on to books quickly. What have I read in August? Not much at all. So I finished listening to the audiobook of Dungeon Crawler Carl. It was fun. That's about it. Am I going to continue on with the series? Maybe, but I probably will only listen to it on audiobook. And currently the audiobook is only available through Audible. And not gonna lie, I'm not gonna use some of my half-price tokens to continue the series. So if it was to be bought out on, I don't know, Libby through my library, yeah, totally I'd continue it. Or if it was part of my Spotify subscription, yeah, why not? But to pay any more credits for it, no thank you. Exciting update in regard to The Wise Man's Fear. I had 2 weeks off in August. Didn't manage to finish the book, but I did make a massive dent in her. And it was hard at first because there is a bit of a lull in this book. And it feels like Kvothe, or whatever the fuck his name is. Special K, let's just call him that. Is like doing side quests. So in the section that I've been reading, he goes off to hunt down some bandits, which was a bit boring. Like, not gonna lie, the weird, like the whole bit about him like working for this guy, finding out that he's poisoned and stuff like that, I was a bit bored, not gonna lie. It does then pick up a bit, so there's like trundling through the forest for days on end. And then, like, there's an attack, and then that kind of speeds everything up again. Quite a tremendous scene of action where he calls down lightning and fries some people. Pretty epic. And then there's, like, a bit of a fever dream sex fest in the Fae realm. Like, what? Mr. Rothfuss, what the fuck were you on writing this? All very bizarre, but kind of fun and silly. And then he's like back out in the world again on some other fucking quest. On the pretense that he's still looking for the people that killed and massacred his troop and family. But bro's just doing everything else but doing that. Which kind of makes me feel like, how the devil is this series ever going to get finished? So it's been a long time. The third book is still allegedly coming, but who knows when. But I will read it if it does get published. And I do enjoy this book. It's just, I mean, yeah, with a book this size, it's going to sometimes have lulls. But they do feed into the story. And I guess, like, when you play a video game, there's like 100 million side quests. And it's still fun to play the game. It's just, I don't know, could you take on less quests, sir? And get to the point? There's something else I've been reading, haven't finished it, is Hidden Hands, The Lives of Manuscripts and Their Makers by Mary Wellesley. This is from my library that I work at. Look at that gorgeous. Like, I am slightly obsessed with illuminated medieval manuscripts. Don't know why. I just think they're beautiful, and some of the images are really fucking crotchety in them, like cats, hippos, and I'm just going to put loads of weird medieval crusty imagery up here. But this is actually like research for a project I'm working on, which I'm not going to say any more about because it's not really a thing yet, but it is something creative. It is in the realm of writing, but we're going to leave it at that. I just felt like I needed to know more about the art of being a scribe for one reason or another. And it's quite interesting. Like, I was reading a bit about like the whole decorating of manuscripts, and like how there would be like one person responsible for each part. So there would be someone like that draws things out, then there'll be someone that colours it in, but before that they put the gold foil in, so someone like there's at least 3 different people involved in one image, and it would take just fucking years years, decades even, to do all these like intricate images, and you kind of don't think, you just kind of believe that perhaps it was just like one artist working on these things. But no, it was like an army of little monks in a monastery somewhere. Currently, I am also reading 2 books, kind of started more into September, but we've got Katabasis, not too sure, by R.F. Kuan. Really excited about this. Like, 2 academic students go to hell to rescue their professor's soul to get a letter of recommendation. Like, university is hard, man. And so you got to be pretty fucking desperate to go into hell to get a recommendation from your professor, which is quite amusing. I'm hoping like it's going to kind of err on the side of satire, because, for example, Yellowface is the other Kuan that I've read, very much satirising the literary world to great effect. So I'm hoping this is kind of delve really deep into academia. I mean, R.F. Kuan herself has like got 4 degrees, so she knows this world really well, so it's really cool. Yeah, love this. I do actually at some point need to read Babel, but it's just fucking chunky. And then the other book that I have recently picked up is Hunchback by Sao Ichikawa. Apologies for the pronunciation. And this sounds really interesting, and it is kind of interesting so far. But essentially it is written by a author with a disability. She has congenital myopathy and uses a ventilator and electric wheelchair, which is kind of what the main character also has as well. So it's kind of very much exploring the interior world of someone with a disability in Japan, who aren't exactly known for their what's the word? And the character does talk about it, like, just people with disabilities are kind of shunned and ignored because it doesn't kind of portray the idea of the Japanese population that the country wants to put forward. But this is very much, I mean, you can tell by the front cover that it's exploring some things. It's exploring the sort of erotic life of a woman with a disability, which doesn't really get explored in literature. So that's kind of what makes this really quite groundbreaking, like Japanese fiction exploring the sex life of a disabled woman. Yes. Right, books were done. Movies. I watched a few movies. I've actually been really good and written notes. Who is she? So the first movie I watched in August was Party Girl, which is like a cult classic 90s movie. And it's about a young woman who is a bit of a party animal and is always broke. And then she gets busted for a illegal party, thrown in jail, but then her aunt, who works at a library, bails her out, and in compensation for that bailout, she now must work at the library that her aunt works at to prove that to prove something, I've forgotten. As a librarian myself, I found this rather amusing, like the whole riff on the Dewey Decimal System and how it takes over your life. And just, yeah, love anything to do with libraries because libraries are cool. But what I didn't love was the weird cultural appropriation. Of course, it's the 90s, but is that really an excuse? So, like, the main character, played by Parker Posey, hosts a party that basically bundles together a load of Middle Eastern references and cliches, and she's actually like dating I've forgotten what nationality he is he Lebanese? Let me just quickly check. Yeah, Lebanese, so called Mustafa. And so she's dating a guy who comes from the Middle East, and then she throws this fucking atrocious party. He gets annoyed with her and fucking leaves. And then, in a way, it kind of can be excused because watching it, we see it as a train wreck. We see it as unacceptable. And it's kind of proven that she's hit rock bottom and this is fucking awful. So it does expose the character as being a bit shit. But I don't know, it just made me feel a bit like, ew, this is icky. Other things, the fashion is crazy. Like, if you think Emily in Paris has odd fashion, the girl in this, she wearing some stuff. Although there is one cool outfit where she's like wearing this really cool, like, knitted jumper that almost looks like armour in its cut with a pair of leather trousers. Like, that I can get behind. The rest of the outfits, what the fuck? Next movie I watched randomly was the 1981 version of Lady Chatterley's Lover. I can't quite remember why I watched this, but it was a bit rubbish. I think the whole thing was dubbed because they had like a Dutch actress in it and she didn't sound British enough. Why would you cast someone if you're suddenly then gonna dub over it? So like the sound engineering of the film just felt a bit strange because everyone was dubbed. And yeah, it was fine, I guess. Although there was one scene that I thought was quite beautiful, which is where the two lovers are in bed with each other, naked, but rather than fucking, they're adorning each other's bodies with flowers, like in the hair and then down, like across the body. And I just thought it was quite a beautiful moment, quite a tender, soft moment. And yeah, quite an interesting, almost like female gaze-esque. But yeah, the rest of it, questionable. Then I watched a film aptly named Dying. Oh, lovely. It's a German movie recently released in the UK, so I went to my local art house cinema to watch it. And that was probably a mistake. It's depressing. I mean, of course, I should have known going into a film literally called Dying that it would be depressing. But essentially it shows a family. You've got the older generation, the mother and father, who are basically close to death. They're in their twilight years. The father has got perhaps dementia or something. He doesn't often know what's going on. And so then he is carted off to a care home because the wife, the mother of the next generation, cannot cope with looking after him anymore because she herself is also starting to really struggle with health issues and the mental toll on it. So that in itself is really depressing. There's kind of like the whole rhetoric around lonely people in care homes and family not coming to see them very often. And just, it's kind of quite heart-rending in a way. And then it kind of, so it focuses I think the film is like in 3 main sections kind of. So like first third of it focuses on the mother of the family, the matriarch, and her struggles. Then it moves on to the son of the family, who is a conductor, and his chapter kind of juxtaposes the earlier chapter. So his ex-girlfriend, who is still in his life, has a baby, but he's there to deliver it. So there's like a weird, complicated modern relationship going on there. And so like there's life that is brought into the world just as life is leaving the world. So it creates quite a fabulous juxtaposition of life and death. The sort of misery and hopelessness of death with the hope of new life. And yeah, quite an interesting juxtaposition. Yeah, and then he also has a friend who is depressed, who is like the creator of the piece of music that they're practicing and trying to put on. We'll come back to him later because there's some fucking shit that goes on there. And then the third kind of chapter then focuses on the daughter. And her life's a bit of a train wreck. She's a dental hygienist or a dental nurse, not quite sure, who has an alcohol problem, who is just a bit of a flake. She has an affair with a man who's married. So basically a bit of a piece of shit. And yeah, the whole film kind of follows this chaotic, fucking awful, in a way, family. And just, yeah, it's quite depressing. And then there's a whole thing about suicide towards the end. And like the idea of basically, in some places you can seek euthanization, and the topic kind of then explores, well, if someone wants to kill themselves, should we allow them to do that? Is it more cruel to keep trying to stop them? Which offers up an interesting ethical dilemma. Like there's a character basically who is seeking suicide who has been miserable for 20 years. So arguably, is it evil to try and make him still exist? Or should he be able to end his life in the way that he wants? So yeah, I would say I might have just spoiled too much of the film for you to even consider it, but I would say that you need to be in a particular mood to be able to watch this film, and it will affect you. And then perhaps to cheer myself up, I watched A Knight's Tale, which I thought was rather delightful. A silly little medieval romp, and I loved the use of anachronistic music, like that whole dance scene with David Bowie playing. Chef's kiss. And just, yeah, it was just a little bit silly. And I feel like we don't really get movies like that anymore, that are good, that are playful. And yeah, where is that kind of movie gone? And I love the medieval setting. Like, I think it's cool. And I feel like, when was the last medieval movie we had? I mean, I guess it was possibly The Northman by mon amour Robert Eggers, but it was very serious. Then before that, it was The Green Knight, very serious, stunning, beautiful movie. But I want a silly medieval movie. So yeah, The Knight's Tale. Fun, cheesy, cliche, riddled, but beautiful. And also Paul Bettany as Chaucer is fucking nuts. It's like he's gone beyond cringe to make something amazing. And bro was acting for his life in that movie. But yeah, no, it's a ridiculous movie and I fucking loved it. Not gonna lie. And then I finished my movie watching month with a double bill of Pedro Pascal, which is quite a fine way to finish. So I watched Fantastic Four, The First Steps or something like that, and Materialists by Celine Song. Fantastic Four, good, but slightly predictable, because like I've seen previous Fantastic Four films, The Silver Surfer, I knew what she was going to do at the end. That's the problem with these reboots so soon after, like it's literally been not that long since the Fantastic Four, that, yeah, I don't know, reboot after reboot after reboot. Again, like, just like with Dying, this film used the juxtaposition of mass annihilation with the hope of a newborn child. It's kind of like, yeah, maybe it's not a cool metaphor anymore, it's just kind of maybe a bit obvious. Yeah, it was enjoyable in the fact that it was a semi-decent superhero movie, but yeah, like I said before, I'm not gonna like watch every Marvel movie again. I'm not doing that. I only watched it because it had Pedro Pascal. And then, so let's get on to Materialists. I didn't like this movie. Just gonna say it. Thoroughly underwhelmed by it. I loved Past Lives, and I was so excited to see what Celine Song would do next. And then instead, she's come out with quite a boring, miserable movie about the state of dating in the modern age. And like everyone's money obsessed, and like everyone's like, again, like to some people, like the world of modern dating is very transactional, but like just takes the biscuit. And it's just fucking icky. And then also you got Chris Evans' character, broke-ass motherfucker, but he's choosing to be broke. He's a struggling actor. That kind of takes away from the idea of being broke and it not being your fault, and like the class system and capitalism working against you. He's choosing to be poor. He says at the end that he's going to take on more jobs even if it is adverts. So he was like, oh, that's beneath me. I want to be a real actor. No sympathy for you, sir. No sympathy at all. It would have been far more interesting if the story had involved a real working class person who isn't doing the noble pursuit of pursuing the arts against all costs, and someone that actually had like a real fucking job, minimum wage, really fucking struggling, and kind of that side of it. So much more to kind of mine and get substance from, but instead, no, we've got a stupid fucking actor. It just carries on the vein of romantic comedies, even though this is not a comedy at all. Romantic films following people with fucking ridiculous jobs that nobody fucking has, stupid sized apartments that nobody can afford. And like, this felt like it was supposed to be realism, but again, it's not. This is not a story that a lot of people can align themselves with. That's the point of romantic comedies, is it's frivolous, it's fun, and oh, she's a fashion designer, oh, she works at a magazine. And it's like kind of fun and silly, but this felt like it was trying to be serious, and it didn't do a fucking good job of it. And talking about serious, there's a whole plot twist about a character, and it just came out of left field a bit, and I thought it was rather amusing and just so jarring and a bit stupid. And yeah, there's so many things in it that just didn't gel. So unfortunate. Perhaps my biggest disappointment of the year, because I was really looking forward to this. Don't really know what else to say. On to television shows. Basically, I've just been watching Star Trek, Discovery and Strange New Worlds, and watching Foundation. I don't really have anything to say about them at the moment because they're still ongoing. And then for the rest of the month, I have basically been playing World of Warcraft. So much, ridiculous amount. But the main reason is because I'm like thoroughly hyped for the next expansion, which is called Midnight. And they like did a release, like a trailer release of it halfway through August. And it looks so fucking good. And I'm so excited, and it's like all around a particular like group of elves. I'm obsessed with elves, so I've basically just been playing elves, leveling up some elves in the zone that's going to get like a whole fucking remodel, and it looks so beautiful and amazing. So I was just like trying to level up through the zone that's going to change to kind of experience the story fully, because I've like stopped and started in that zone. This is like probably boring to anyone that doesn't play World of Warcraft. But yeah, so like a particular zone, it's called Eversong Woods. Stunning music, stunning visuals, but I quite often would just get a bit bored with the questing, because like one particular area, it's called the Ghostlands. There's just so many fucking quests you got to do. So many. And then when you hit a certain level up point, you get like these little basically pop-ups saying, come to blah 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 and do this quest, summoned by the Horde. And so then you're like, oh okay, I'll do that, rather than continuing this 500 billion quest chain killing zombies. But yeah, super excited about World of Warcraft, and yeah, that's what I've been doing really. So I've done a bit of reading and a bit of movie watching, but mainly Warcrafting. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you've been reading and watching in the month of August, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.